Hello my friends, thank you for joining me today. Today I will be giving you my first tier list video, so this should be exciting. And it will be in ASMR format as usual, so please sit down, relax, and enjoy this video. Okay, so today we're doing fruits that I have eaten, or my favorite fruits on here. And as you can plainly see, there's a big list of fruits here. So we will be ranking them today. Now, for any tier list, I always make a rule. I always have at least one of the highest tier and one of the lowest tier, just to keep things even. And also, this is a list that is relative. In other words, something in the D is not necessarily the worst food I've ever tasted, it's just simply the weakest fruit. But first things first, we have a category here called I've never had this. So before we do anything, I want to put all the fruits I've never eaten inside that category. So let's go through them. Alright, black currants, I don't think I've ever had those, so that goes up here. Alright. And I will tell you each about my experiences with each fruit as we get to them. So don't worry, I'm not skipping anything. Let's see here. Durian, I don't think I've ever had it, so let's see here. Gooseberry, nope, never had that. Let's see here. White grapes, kiwis, lemons, limes. I don't even know what that is, so great. Mangoes, blah, blah. Oh, papaya, let's see here. No, I don't think I've had papaya. Passion fruit, yeah. Never had that. Let's see here. Pomelo, never had that. Let's see here. Red currant, never had that. Starfish. Starfruit, sorry. No, I'm not eating Patrick here, so never had that. Let's see here. Tangerine, watermelon, honeydew, Asian pear. Don't like pears, but I've never had that. Honeydew, guava, custard apple. That sounds good, but I've never had that. Ground cherry, never had that. Let's see here. Mulberry? That's like a blackberry. I don't know what that is. Well, actually, no. Have I? Oh, no. I might have. But since I don't remember, I'm just going to put it up here. Let's see here. Kumquat, raisins, jackfruit. Never had jackfruit. Yeah, this thing's starting to fill up. Holy crud. Mangosteen. Never had that. Or that. Now, sour cherry. Did I have that? That sounds familiar. I might have. Oh, no, you know what? I think I have, because that looks familiar. And white currant, never had that. Alright, so now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's begin with the fruits I have eaten. And there's still a lot here. And we're just going to go in order of the way the list has it. So if anybody has any complaints, please leave them down in the comments below. Also leave down in the comments below any tier lists you guys want me to do. Of course, the usual, nothing inappropriate that can't be shown on the YouTube video. No anime, because I don't watch anime. And no horror movies, because that's kind of my thing. So, let's do this. First of all, green apple, Granny Smith apples. I eat them. I have eaten them. That will go up here in A. I love Granny Smith apples. The only issue I have is that their skin can be a little tough. But I just like tart fruits. I like tart foods in general. So let's go on to the next one. That'd be red apples. I also love red apples. I'm gonna put them in. Well, my favorite apple is Fuji apples. But let's see here. I'm gonna put in A. I think I like them about the same. Another problem is the skin. The skin can be a little tough to eat. So we're going to put that up here. Alright. Next is apricots. I'm going to put them in B. I like apricots, but not only are they kind of small, but they are a little soft for my taste. Like, they're a little too soft. I don't necessarily like my fruits to have a little bite to it, but this seems like they're always a little too soft for me. Avocado. Now, a lot of people may not think, that should be up here. A lot of people may not think of avocado as a fruit, but it has a seed, and it's a fruit. This one's a little hard to rank because this one's unique compared to all the other fruits. Like, technically, cucumbers are fruits, that's not up here. Squashes are fruits, that's not up here. So I'm wondering why avocado are, despite them not really being similar to any of these fruits. So how should I rank this? I'm gonna put it in A. it's hard to put in an S because it doesn't seem right to me. It's not sweet or anything. You don't eat it like a fruit, but I eat them all the time. I put them in salads and stuff, so I will consider it a fruit. Alright. Um, Bananas. I love bananas. So I will put in A. I don't think I like it as much as S tier, which you'll see later, but I like them fine. The only problem is that when they're not ripe, they take forever to ripen. When they're not ripe, they are hard to eat. Not to mention, when they're too ripe, they are also kind of hard to eat. So you have to get them at that sweet spot where they're slightly, there's still some green left, but not much. Alright, let's see, blackberries. This one's hard. Because I used to love blackberries, now I'm kind of neutral to them. I'm going to put them in B. I still like them, but they, most of the time, are kind of bitter. I don't mind sour, I'm just not a huge fan of bitter. And they can be sometimes hard to gauge when they're ready to eat. If they look like raspberries, they're not ready to eat. Blueberries. I'm going to put it in C tier. I actually like blueberries, but the issue is that um, they're round, that little part where it kind of flares out. Most of the time, that's really hard to eat, and you have to pick it out of your mouth. I don't like that. Next, and not to mention they're really soft, so, and I just said how I feel about soft foods. Let's see here, cantaloupe. I'm putting it in C tier, simply because you can't really eat them that close to the rind. I noticed that there's only a small part of the cantaloupe that's actually really good. That middle part, while the seeds are, that's really soft. I really like that, but the issue is, once you get past that, it's kind of hard to eat, and it's like, not that great. Alright, next, coconuts. Open and D tier. I don't mind the juice, I just do not like the shavings. I can't eat the shavings at all. Any dessert that has shavings, I skip. So that one's fairly simple. Not to mention, one time I tried to open one, it cut my finger and left a scar, so. Well, actually, no. Which hand was it? Where is it? Yeah, okay, it's my right hand. Apparently it wasn't that traumatizing because I didn't even remember. Alright. Cherries. Now, cherries are my dad's favorite fruit. How do I feel about them? B. I like cherries. I'm not a huge fan of having to take the pit out, but it is what it is. Alright. Next, cranberries. I like dried cranberries, but these aren't dried cranberries, so I'm gonna put this in D. I just don't eat them that much. I think they're fine, I personally don't particularly like them as much as some others. So, next, dates. Now, the interesting thing about dates is that I've tried these. I used to live next to neighbors who came from the Middle East somewhere, and they would often, I don't know if this is like a cultural thing or religious thing, but they would often, come by and give us some of their cuisines, and very often they include dates, including some sweetened dates, as if they were like some kind of candy or dessert, and I really like them, but I'm trying to remember, I think I've tried regular dates, I think they're fine. I'm gonna put them in C, because I think I like them fine, but I kinda like them better when they were sweetened, which is not natural, so yeah. Alright, next we have dragon fruit. Now these next couple of fruits, a lot of these, let's see here, dragon fruit, fig, passion fruit, pomegranate, and guava, and blood oranges, and kumquats. I've tried when me and my family were in dire straits when I was younger, and we would used to get food from the food pantries, and very often they would have these fruits that I'm guessing no one else bought. So, and I remember them very well because I have that kind of memory. So that's where I tried these. However, I won't let those bad times dictate how I feel about these fruits. Now, of all the fruits, I actually remember dragon fruit the least. If I remember, it was kind of sweet, but a little tart, so I'm putting it in C because I remembered liking it fine. And then figs. Figs, I do remember. I didn't eat them all that much. We used to put them on our salads. So I thought they were good, and I'm going to put them in C as well. Because I remember that they were seed-like, similar to pomegranates, if my memory serves. So that would be good. Grapefruits. I don't much like grapefruits. They taste like discount oranges. That's just how I feel. I know they're very popular for diets, but I don't like them. red grapes. I'm with those in B. I love grapes in general. The only problem with red grapes is the skins can be a little harsh, but technically that tastes better than, say, white grapes. So, alright, next, white grapes. Technically, white grapes don't taste as good as red grapes, but the skin is so much better, and when those get tart, they get really tart. So when red grapes get tart, they get really tart. So I'm going to put I'm going to put red grapes in B, and white grapes just above it. Now, can I change the order of this? Do you guys really care if um, do you guys really care about sub-orders here? Because I'm not really thinking about that. If you guys do care, I will make sure to keep that in mind for later videos. So please leave that in the comments down below as well. Also, if you aren't subscribed yet to this channel, please subscribe and hit that like button. It helps the channel a lot. Alright, next, kiwis. Every once in a while, okay, kiwi, I like them fine. It's just they're hard to prepare and a little too soft, like I said about soft fruits. I like the flavor of kiwis, it's just that they are a little, soft, as it were. Alright, lemons and limes, you can't really eat them the same, you can't really eat them like other fruits, you can't just peel it and start eating it. Obvious reason is obvious. So, next, lemons. I'm gonna put that in B tier. I love it in my salads and fish. And I put limes in A tier. No particular reason as for this per se. I just like limes a lot better. Not to mention limes go great in water. Mangoes. Alright. Well, I'm not sure how anyone feels about this. I've heard mangoes is divisive fruit, but for me it's S tier. I love mangoes. I grew up with mangoes. Me and my dad used to eat them all the time. They were expensive, but they were such a treat when we got them. They're a little hard to prepare. They're a little hard to peel and prepare to eat, and that there's a big giant seed in it. But they're really good. I don't mind the stringy nature at all. I really like mangoes. So that's what that is. All right. Next, nectarine. They're similar to peaches and apricots. I'll put them in B. The irony of all this is that I consider these a little soft, a little hard, a little too hard. So while they're similar to apricots, I think they're a little too hard for my taste, but I still like the flavors. So nectarine is right here in B. Oranges. I used to love oranges when I was younger. The only issue now is that I have canker sores, so eating them now is difficult due to my canker sore problem. However, I still love them and I eat them when I can. So that is that for now. Alright, next we have passion fruit. And like I said earlier, it's been so long since I've eaten them. I think I like them fine, so I'm going to put them in C tier. If I remember correctly, they were a little soft, but they were a little hard to prepare, but I think they had a little bit of a sweet flavor to it. I don't remember all that well. Let's see here. Next is peaches. Now, they are a little hard when they're pretty much impossible to eat when they're not ripe, but when they are ripe, they are one of my favorite fruits. I love peaches. I eat them all the time. They're slightly expensive. Now, I kind of prefer the white peaches over the yellow peaches, so I kind of wish that this was separated, but as is, it's still fine. I still love to eat peaches. Pears, don't like them. I don't like pears. Never have. I don't know why, I just never have liked pears. They're just such an odd fruit to me. They taste kind of weird, the texture's kind of weird. It's like an apple, but it's not. It's like, I don't want anything to do with them. Pineapples. I love pineapples, but similar to oranges, they're hard to eat because they have canker sores, and supposedly they have an enzyme that technically eats your mouth, so kind of weird. Yeah, you learn a lot of weird things when you watch Animal Planet. Next, plums. I like plums, but the problem is that they can be a little soft and a little hard to eat, and the flavors can range. Sometimes they're really sweet, sometimes they're really sour, and I have not really found a good way to figure out if one plum is going to be one flavor and another plum is going to be another flavor. So that's really it. Not to mention the pit can be a little annoying. So next, pomegranates. I thought these were fine. The issue is that preparing them's a pain. It's messy, and the seed and it's really weird eating the seeds. So I mean they're fine tasting, but they're not really worth the trouble in many cases. Next, raspberries. I love raspberries, but it seems to like artificial raspberry flavor more. These are fine, but they're kind of soft, and they go bad really easily. I don't think there's another fruit on here that goes bad as fast as raspberries. Literally, I can uh, buy some one day and the very next day they're bad. So if it wasn't for that, they'd be an A. But as is, so strawberries. I love strawberries. Always have. Um, they're they're not always sweet, but they're really easy to prepare and they're really easy to eat. I really like them. Um, I know a lot of people like them in like dipped in chocolate, and I can take it or leave it. I also like artificial strawberry, so strawberries are really good all around. Next, tangerine. They're similar to an orange. I don't think they're quite as good as orange, but they're good to eat. Um, I like how they're sweeter than oranges, but I don't think it tastes as good overall. But at least they're easy to prepare, so I'll give it to that. Watermelon. Again, one of my favorite fruits. Um, a lot of people say they love watermelons because they grew up in the South. Well, technically I grew up in the South, um, South California. Does that count? But no. In all seriousness, I love watermelons. I look forward to when they, I look forward to when they're in season. By the way, fun fact: do you know watermelon is technically a berry? Who knew? Yeah, watermelon is a berry. Strawberry is not a berry. It's not even a fruit, actually. Technically, the seeds inside the strawberry are fruits. Interesting, isn't it? Next, honeydew. I love honeydew, sweeter than cantaloupe. When I was younger, me and my family used to get both, honeydew and cantaloupe, and I'm like, why bother? Honeydew's so much better. But, you know. Alright, next, guava. I thought these were okay, but they were so hard to prepare, and I was always the one who prepared the food, so it's like, not really worth it. Next, blood oranges. I didn't really like them when I tried these. I don't know why. Maybe because of the color. Maybe I remember the flavor being really weird, so I just didn't like them. Forgive me for any of the blood orange followers. Next, kumquats. These fruits were weird to me. They look like it's kind of hard to explain. They look like they're bite-sized, and they kind of are, but can't really eat them like that. It's really weird. They don't taste bad, I don't think. I just could not really get into them. Raisins. This one's hard because if it's cranberry raisins, I really like them. But if it's grape raisins, well, it looks like these are grape raisins, so I'm putting them in D. I know a lot of people may like raisins. I don't. I'm sorry. So, now sour cherries. I didn't know these. That's what these were called. I eat these all the time. Since I don't know some difference, I'm gonna put them in B tier because honestly, I've eaten these. I know I have. These look like the sour cherries. Look like cherries I get at my local grocery store, and I didn't know that's what they're called. I definitely look out for that title from now on. But yeah, I don't know the difference between a cherry and a sour cherry, so I'm just going to consider them the same. And here is my tier list for official scoring. I don't know. But yeah, my favorite fruits would be mango, peach, and watermelon. Now, are there any fruits missing here? Well, maybe some variants, like for instance, um, they didn't separate peaches for some reason, even though they did separate other fruits. Now they did include avocados, which I thought was kind of weird, and if they were going to do that, it would make more sense to include what's it called? Like cucumbers, tomatoes, etc. So now let me make sure you guys can actually see what's going on here. I don't know if you can actually see it. Hold on. Alright, bear with me because I'm still new to this. Let me get this up here. Alright, there we go. Alright, now you can see it all. So here's my entire list. And also let me know in the comments down below if there's an easy way to move my screen up here without having to come down unprofessional-like onto the actual recording device. I have not figured out how to do that yet. But with all that said, here is my tier list. So just want to thank you all for coming to listen to me. Have a great day, and God bless.